Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here. Of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods here on this thirsty Thursday morning. How are you guys doing today? We are getting closer and closer to the bewitching hour in the NFL, because next week we start out the combine, be it an abbreviated one. Basically, there's only going to be 1 day of actually workouts with the prospects. Day one will be physicals and, of course, examinations. Day two will be media interviews. Day three will be the workouts. Day four will be get out of town. And they're having a semi-bubble situation here. The NFL is kind of yielded to the prospects and their agents to some of the rules about the bubble situation and so on. But also, too, you're now beginning to see teams start to try and free up some cash to make their way as far as free agents go, or possibly making some trades. We've heard that Jimmy G, of course, is not going to, or may not be on the trade block after all, as first was thought, or that may be a ploy to try and drive up the price, because they're saying that basically they don't think Jordan Love is going to be ready just yet. Excuse me, not Jordan Love. Oh, my God. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. Jordan Love, of course, this is the problem for Green Bay. Now, here's an interesting statistic here, because, I always hear the Cowboy fans that say, we're not going to win anything because we got garbage-ass Dak. We need to go get an Aaron Rodgers. Well, here's the thing. If you were to trade for Aaron Rodgers, it is conceivable. Currently, his cap number would be $27.5 million. The Packers would end up eating some of that contract money, of course, and that's why it's down to 27.5, which is not as bad as you think of some of the quarterbacks' compensation. The teams that currently have enough space to actually trade for Aaron Rodgers, not compensation-wise, but to trade for him, would be the Dolphins, the Chargers, the Jaguars, the Bengals, the Jets, Broncos, Colts, Seahawks, Commanders, and Steelers. Dolphins, yes, they definitely have the money, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers want to go there. But here's the thing, though. In a trade, unless Aaron Rodgers has a no-trade clause, and I believe he does, he's going to have a little say in here. I don't think he's going to accept the Dolphins. The Chargers, they already got a quarterback. The Jaguars would, sure, they just invested a number one pick in Trevor Lawrence, so I'm not thinking that the Jaguars are thinking that. The Bengals, Josh Burrow, they're not thinking about it either. The Jets would love it. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't. Broncos, they would love it. And I think Aaron Rodgers would too. Colts would love it. And, of course, there's the Seahawks. And I'm not sure that the Seahawks would trade Aaron Rodgers for, with Russell Wilson in that situation, because to me that's just a lateral move. You're not dealing with the underlying issues of the Seahawks. They need to rebuild their defense. They need to get a running game. They have so many things that trading away draft picks does not help you. Then there's the Commanders. The Commanders that could look at it and say, we're in a win right now mode, and we would love to have them. That's a possibility. They've said, we'd like to get a quarterback. We are putting things on the table. And it would probably take like 3 number ones. Now, the Packers would probably love to have the 3 number ones. Their problem, of course, will be is Jordan Love ready? And most people say not. Steelers, I'm not sure that they would give up 3 number ones for an Aaron Rodgers. That would say that's the only thing we need is a quarterback. They actually made the playoffs with as bad as Ben Roethlisberger played. So maybe you look at it and say that's a possibility. So those are the options as far as the current cap numbers. That's not to say that if the Cowboys wanted to get Aaron Rodgers and they decided that we'll trade 3 number ones, we'll take the cap hit on Dak, that they could go through and restructure everybody and bring him in. That's, it is actually conceivable. It's like, when they say that you're not eliminated from the playoffs, there's still a chance, but not a very good one, and it's not likely whatsoever. So that's where it is with Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers has basically got everybody watching to see what is Aaron Rodgers going to do. So let's go to Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark's cool people. I know he's a Dallas Cowboy hater, but let's listen to what they think about the Packers' possibility of trading Aaron Rodgers.
Now, yesterday, the Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst answered questions about where things stand and when a decision might come. Here's what he said.
If Aaron comes to you and says he wants to trade, are you going to be any more willing to trade him than you were last offseason, or are you still saying you're not trading him?
Yeah, no, Matt, those are kind of some hypotheticals. I don't think we're going to go down those roads right now. We're working together. We're not putting deadlines on anything. Again, there are some timing things that will come into play where we will have to make decisions down the road. But Aaron's well aware of that, and like I said, the communication's been very good.
How anxious are you as GM for him to make a decision?
Yeah, like I said, the earlier the better.
Okay, the earlier the better. We are all waiting. Tick, tick, tick. Diana, how much longer are we going to have to wait to hear from Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, talking to some people around the league, the sense I'm getting is that this is imminent. This is going to be happening over the next week or so. That being Aaron Rodgers informing the Green Bay Packers of what his decision is going to be. And we're at a point right now where everyone around the league is waiting to see what Aaron's going to decide. But there's a lot of tentacles that go to this, Mike.
What tentacles?
Well, let's just begin with the fact that the Packers GM made it very clear, and I do not want to downplay this. In fact, I would like to shout out what he said yesterday, which is essentially there has been no agreement between the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers that he can be traded. So the ball is in the court of the Green Bay Packers, and here's the quote specifically.
Here it is. Yeah, I think it was when you pointed out at our meeting this morning, I wanted to make sure that we highlighted this. He said yesterday, and this was in a side session away from the cameras, so it wasn't on a microphone, but he said the whole conversation with Aaron last season before he came back was that regardless at the end of this season, we would sit down as a group and we would work it out one way or another. But to be clear, he specifically said there is no agreement that we will trade him if that's what he wants.
Yeah, and Mike, that sounds like to me, these are people that just want to have a conversation. This doesn't mean there's any promises, right? This is the Green Bay Packers. They're one of those traditional organizations. They're going to stay within the lines of how they do things, which is Aaron Rodgers is contractually obligated to be a Green Bay Packer. So in terms of timeline, right? So let's say Aaron Rodgers makes this decision here. The next step would be the Green Bay Packers would have to allow him to be traded. And then if a team were to come to the Green Bay Packers and say, yes, we would like to make this trade, then Aaron Rodgers would have to pick that team or at least want to go to that organization. So
that's the key.
If that's the order in which these things go, are there teams that are already doing whatever it is one does behind the scenes on this?
Yes, Greeny. There are multiple teams that I know of right now that have a deal on the table for Aaron Rodgers. Not only a package with compensations for trade compensation, but are willing to pay a salary. Aaron Rodgers wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL. And we're not just talking a few $1 million. We're talking being paid as the highest paid player in the NFL by a wide margin.
Well, we're losing Bartholomew over here. Why is that funny?
I mean, it's just hilarious to me because Aaron Rodgers holds the cards, right? He holds the cards.
That's the amazing thing in this day and age.
That contract, and they kind of retooled this contract. Then what happens is now he has a $46 million cap hit. So he's going to be the highest paid player. And also Devontae Adams wants $21 million. How can they re-sign half of the people they have to re-sign? They have no receivers under contract next year. So you talk about where Aaron Rodgers' leverage is. Once they agreed to redo the contract, it gave him the leverage to decide, if I don't want to work out a long-term contract, you won't be able to fill a winning football team. And at some point, Gurney, you have to decide. Right? Sometimes you have to get rid of a great player to get a bunch of good players and restart and rebuild. And listen, they missed on Jordan Love. They got to try and put the best team around him. So I think you cash in that chip, the only chip that you have, and you trade Aaron Rodgers and you allow yourself to build the future of your football team. Because guess what? It's been great. He's been the MVP. You went home in the first home game the previous couple of years in the season.
So let me get RC in on this, because there's so many different directions this thing can go, and you can feel the frustration building. We had a lot of it here yesterday. Chris Canty in that seat and others, and Bart saying the same as well. RC, there are some people who are saying to me now, the Packers need to just cut their losses, move on from this. You cannot allow this to just hover over your franchise and to acquiesce, if you will, no matter how great a player is, to everything he wants. What do you think?
Well, I think you need to be exploring all of the options. You know, Diana used a beautiful word in describing this, which tentacles, right? There are so many different ways and so many different branches to this tree. And so if you're GM Brian Gutekunst, what you need to be doing is fielding those calls for these different trade options and trying to build up those packages as big as you possibly can. And you need to be having conversations with Aaron Rodgers daily on what he might be thinking. This isn't about perception. This isn't about the way people are going to see your organization or going to see the ways that you move. It's about you fielding the best team you can possibly field. Obviously, they feel that having Aaron Rodgers at quarterback is the best way to go. And so if you are held hostage the way that Bart says you are because he has that $46 million cap hit, are you now trying to figure out how you can work the salary cap, how you can work the roster to field a team that can even win if Aaron Rodgers is there? Because you also are going to want Devontae Adams. And if he needs to leave, you also have to be putting yourself in position to say, okay, these are the players we want, here's the compensation we want, and here's how we move forward at the quarterback position. This isn't a one-way thing. You can't let your ego be involved, you can't get your feelings involved, and you can't be moving around like I don't want to be embarrassed. How you need to be moving around is, how do I win a championship? Because no matter what we say, since 2010 in the 2011 season, when Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, the team that they put together has not won one. And they've had Aaron Rodgers throughout that time, who has been one of the best, if not the best quarterback during that period. So what the Green Bay Packers have to be figuring out is, whatever move Aaron Rodgers makes, we have the chess move that gets us the checkmate, because that's where this team is right now in the offseason.
I think that's really well put. And Diana, just to sort of put a ribbon on this piece of it here, it feels impossible to me to believe. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't played a game in a month. He did a 12-day panchakarma cleanse, which the details of which were quite remarkable. But my point is, the idea that he doesn't know what he wants to do right now, that he is making up his mind, strikes me as ridiculous. So there's nothing holding this up except for him holding it up. When should we expect to hear something?
And the sense I'm getting is that he wants to make the decision soon. He wants to get this off his chest too and move on, and also give the Green Bay Packers opportunity to make moves with free agency just around the corner. You know, there was a thought that this would be done by the combine. Guys, the combine's next week, right? So, you know, this could happen, but just from the conversations I had, the teams that are involved in a perhaps trade, or at least that want him, those are the Packers. Those close to Aaron Rodgers feel that this is coming very soon.
Okay, so as the clock ticks on that, there is another piece of this. The franchise tag window is currently open, and that, of course, involves Devontae Adams, among many other players around the league. Brian Gutekunst yesterday talked about Adams. Here was that exchange with reporters.
Okay, we can end up in there. Okay, so Devontae Adams is another piece to it. So what you're hearing, of course, is Aaron Rodgers wants to be the highest paid quarterback, be it in Green Bay or elsewhere. And the whole thing of the team is not conscious of trying to build a team. Well, if you're saying I want to be the highest paid quarterback player in the league by a wide margin, then you're not exactly playing the team role. And so you have to look at this. If you're a team that's trading for Aaron Rodgers, you are, in essence, basically going to hamstring yourself, because you're not going to have the draft picks to pick up players, and you're going to pay him more money than anybody else, which means you're not going to be able to be a player in free agency. So trading for Aaron Rodgers is literally selling your soul to the devil, and you better be a team that is ready like the Rams were right now, because it's going to be hard to keep building a team after that. And so this is where it's crazy that Aaron Rodgers, who last year didn't want the NFL to do the deal that they did because he basically said it's going to screw a lot of players, literally is the one that's able to screw everybody, because it's Aaron Rodgers, the pouty kid, that he's going to get his way. And guaranteed, with teams already with deals on the table, they may be wanting to go back up and redo those numbers, because it will be Aaron Rodgers who says, I will get rid of my trade clause to go here and here only. So Green Bay, you either cut me, pay me $46 million, or you trade me to where I want to go. Aaron Rodgers holds all the cards. So good luck if you're that team that trades for him. And as Ryan Clark pointed out, Green Bay has had Aaron Rodgers. And for the last 10 years, they have been unable to win the Super Bowl. Just keep that in mind. All right, good people, I'm going to get up here. I got to get to the workshop. I got some of those butcher blocks I got to do. I got a big Mike Myers print that we're doing up in there. I've got a taco press customized with his kids on it that I have to do. I've got all kinds of stuff that we must do. And so with that being said, my cousin, a Washington Commanders fan, is calling in right now. And I'm going to talk to him in a second as we get ready to roll out of here. You know how we roll. I'm Mark Holmes. And
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part
we're going to see you guys
most
later. Maybe my cousin's team will be the one to trade for Aaron Rodgers. They're looking for a quarterback. Good luck selling your souls to the devil. I will see you guys later. Peace.